everybody, I'm back for another Boss Chicks chat. I like that. I think I want to use that hashtag from now on. Hey everybody for joining. Thank you. Doreen, thank you for joining. I didn't catch the last name. Hey Miss Phenom, how are you? I'm on for another Boss Chicks chat. Yes, coming straight from a boss to another boss. So I wanted to talk a little bit about extreme revenue growth and extreme growth in particular. There's a book that, well, let me back up. Last year, I had a mastermind with several women, and we met in Fort Lauderdale. Some joined us remotely. Some of us were in Fort Lauderdale. But it was like an all-day mastermind, locked in the room. Glad you're here too, Doreen. Thank you for supporting. We were locked in for the whole day for a mastermind, and it was focused on just kind of stretching your boundaries and building your business and everything that you needed to know about growing your company from a small business to a company. Talking about the scale process, the mastermind mentality, the mind shift, all of that stuff, and hard numbers. So there was a book that I had them read before we went in, and it's called Extreme Revenue Growth. It's backwards because my iPad just does that. I don't know why. Startup Secrets to Growing Your Sales from 1 million to 25 million in Any Industry by Victor Chang. And as you can probably see, I have some blues in there that I outlined, a whole lot of stuff that I outlined, a whole lot of stuff that really I took to heart for my own business. Hey KB Career, thanks for joining. And, let me tell you a little bit about me. If you don't know me, if you're new to my Periscopes, thank you and welcome. I appreciate you coming out. A little background noise, so excuse the traffic. My name is Adrian Graham. I'm Talent Diva on Twitter. Adrian Graham across the rest of the web. I am a CEO and founder. I have several companies. My main company is called Empower Me Corporation, and that's at empowerme.org. And we do business growth strategies and development for small businesses looking to grow and transition into larger enterprises. And I also am the founder of a company called Curvy Girl Closet, which is an e-commerce site and soon to be just this kick-ass plus-size community. The visions that I have for this company, you just wouldn't believe. But we're in the works with that. And I'm also a co-partner with my sisters in another company called Busy's Place. And that's more of adult stuff, and it's romance concierge. We have a boutique. We're going to introduce some lingerie and shoes and things like that, and have a direct sales market strategy for that business. Anywho, I have run several firms in the past. I've had 2 recruitment firms that I've run, one for 6 years, another for 11 years. I started my first business in 1994, so I am not a newbie by any means of the term whatsoever. But I know what it's like to be a newbie, and I know what it's like to be a startup with all of these big, vast dreams to grow and scale a company. I've done it. I failed. I've succeeded. I've helped others succeed. So that's a little bit of my background. Also, if you've seen my writing, I've written for Forbes. I've been on Fox Small Business. I've been in Forbes. I've been on Fortune. I've been in Black Enterprise 5 times. I'm so proud of that. I've been in Essence. I've been in Financial Times. I mean, it's too much to name. You can Google me. So that really gives my footprint of my expertise and how I've been involved in the entrepreneurial community for my own projects and also to help with clients. So with that said, and that was a mouthful, I started doing Periscopes because I want to be able to connect with you guys. I was doing Google Plus Hangouts for a better part of maybe a year, and I was doing live shows, which was good. But the platform became sticky. So Periscope, a friend of mine introduced me to Periscope, Jay Stone. Hey, Jay Stone. And I'm hooked. I don't even know. I think I'm up to my 8th Periscope now. But the purpose of me doing these Periscopes is to come and kind of impart some of my experiences and I guess I can say wisdom, with age comes wisdom, into my audience and helping you guys with growing. There is tons of great content out on the web, a lot of shady content, but tons of great content on the web. And a lot of it is how to get customers to follow, to sign up for your list, how to market. A lot of it is marketing centric or online business centric. And I have clients that come to me and say, listen, I want to expand, I want to grow, I want to make a lot of money, I want to double my sales, I want to cross that $5 million mark, things like that. Those are the things they're worrying about. And one way I like to say it in particular is like I have a client that says, you know what? I want to become the next Sarah Blakely. If you don't know Sarah, you probably know her. Spanx, which is a godsend for us curvy chicks, you know, and everybody in general. But Sarah went from, if you don't know her story, I'll tell it briefly. Sarah went from being in her home, carrying her backpack with prototypes of the Spanx garments. I'm not wearing any today. I don't need any today. But anyway, she went around to Saks and Neiman Marcus and all these other stores and sold her sold them on trying out her product. And she hit it big, and she got on Oprah, and then boom, she blew up. You know, that's the abbreviated story. But she went from this in-home business with an idea to now she's a billion-dollar company per Forbes. If you check her out on Forbes, she's a billion-dollar company. And a lot of people are left wondering, like, well, how do you do that? I want to know how to do it. I want to get there. Now, some of you may be perfectly fine saying, you know what? Hey, I want to be a small business, playing in my small pod, and that's good. That's fine if that's where you want to be. Me, at this moment, I want to become a $100 million company. I am working hard and fast to get onto that track. But, you know, I want to be that person to take you along on that journey with me so you can see me do it, and I can in turn help you do it by you watching my Periscopes, by you listening to my podcast, reading my writing, working with me, of course. If you want to work with me, you know, I'm always open to working with the ideal clients. But a lot of times as small business owners, we get focused on the stuff that keeps us small, if that makes sense. Please don't send me hate mail, because I'm not disrespecting small business. Small business is the backbone of this economy, and I love small business, and I have been small business. In some instances, I am small business. But some of us have bigger, loftier goals, and to do that, we can't focus on Twitter following. We can't focus on, am I doing the right blog post? We can't focus on, let me generate leads for my newsletter. Because we all know that the real numbers, unless you are what I always preach about, being super focused and targeted, those big mailing lists end up shrinking down when it comes down to you actually closing a sale. And when I say closing it, I don't mean selling a product. If that's what you do, that's good for you, selling products. But I'm going to challenge you to think beyond that. Thinking beyond being an information purveyor to becoming a problem solver. Now, some products do solve problems. Now, for me, I can write books all day long, and I know I have sales, and people still buy my books. I have 5 books out on the market, and 2 courses, you know, and I can make sales on those all day long and be happy and just put a plug in and say, hey, buy my books, buy my books. That's great. If I wanted to be an information entrepreneur, that's not who I am. I am about, and excuse the salty language, I get shit done. I solve problems. I fix companies. I help them scale and grow into their potential. That's what I do. And for me, I can't do that with you buying a DVD from me or buying a book from me. You may get the foundational things, but to get in there and roll them sleeves up, get up under the hood and figure out what's wrong and then fix it and send you up into that growth pattern, that's what my business does. That's what I do. So for me, being a purveyor of products does not fit into my business model for a big percentage of my company. It's a small piece of it, but it's not. I wanted to share something with you guys about what a couple of things that Victor Chang said. The first thing is in the first page, his first chapter, he talks about the revenue growth engine. And how many of you have sat down and really started mapping out what that growth engine looks like? What is your business going to look like in a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? What kind of staff does that look like to be on hand to handle that growth? What kind of new innovative products or services are you coming up with to keep your current customers happy and still attract new customers? So that's a lot of stuff that you have to think about, and we don't think about that as small businesses sometimes. So here's what he said. The revenue growth engine consists of 5 key components. 1, target customer who's aware of his or her problem, who know that they need you and they need a solution tomorrow, today, yesterday. Number 2, a promise that your company makes to your prospective customers. What pain are you going to solve for them? What is it you're going to do to make it all better so that they can function at their high optimum level? Number 3, a distribution channel for reaching and transacting with target customers. Remember the other day when I had the Periscope and I said you have to make it as easy as possible for people to do business with you. If that means offering various methods of payment and various methods of terms, that's one way that you can make it easier for them to do business with you. Make it easier for them to find you. Streamline your website process. I'll give you an example of what just drives me insane. Look at and if any of you are job seekers or work a 9 to 5, you'll know what I mean. Look at when you go to the big giant companies. Do you already have to be in business in order to read this? No, not at all. You can be right now and not in business and still read it. I recommend you read this before you go into business because I think that it would put you ahead of the game, and it'll open your mind. It'll make you think differently about your business and about what you want to do. So definitely, please make sure you get the book, read it. And it's not I don't get a kickback. I don't own the book. I don't have any copyrights. I don't have any affiliate or anything like that. It's just, this is a book that I recommend to my clients, to my mastermind, and in my Incubate to Accelerate program. This is mandatory reading because you have to think outside of what you already know. So back to my example, I was talking about those big companies like Coca-Cola, Nike, whoever, who say apply online. Easy enough. You go to their website, you click, you go in, and there's this 18-page application, page after page after page of stuff that they really, quite frankly, and I can say this, and I can honestly, with no reservation, call myself a recruiting expert because that is who I am, what I've done for over 20 years, and I've watched it change over the years. Those are so not necessary. I get it for record keeping purposes, but you only need basic minimal information and a resume. Anything beyond that, excuse me, please don't curse me out, but it makes recruiters lazy that you put all that information. They don't have to do the work. Part of my joy when I do recruit is to get these diamonds in the rough. Let me see if they have enough of a cover letter, and let me look at their resume to see if they grab me. I'll talk to them. Then I'll have them do the application for record keeping purposes. But if you're not going to hire these people, why are you having to fill out applications? So my point is, they make it harder for people to apply for them. Now, if Joe Blow's business or Sally Mae's business down the road, who had 2 employees and were looking to hire, if they implemented this and had this long interrogation application, as I call them, people say, you know what, I don't even know this company, and they're too small of a fish in the